Okay, so where are we? Question 40. The greater of two numbers. Is that it? Yes. So the greater of two numbers. So I know there's two numbers. And where should I write this? So I'm going to write small and great. Right? Because I know there's two numbers. So if there's a greater two numbers. So the greater of two numbers, the greater one is one less than 3 times the smaller one. So we're going to call the smaller x, right? But this is a turnaround, so it eventually becomes 3x minus 1. So the greater number is 3x minus 1, and the smaller number is 1. The small number is just x. So let me just erase that and just write 3x minus 1. So identify the numbers. And then I can set up my equation. If 3 times the greater number, here's 3 times the greater number, is 5 more than 8 times the smaller. Find the number. So that's my equation once I have this established. So that's, and the rest, again, it's repetitive, but it's 6x, sorry, not 6x. 23 is 9x minus 3 equals 5 plus 8x. Really? So we have a variable on each side. Let's get rid of this guy, minus 8x, minus 8x. And here's my line in the middle. This is bye-bye. 5 comes down, and 9x minus 8x is just x minus 3. So, and we're going to do plus 3 on both sides, and x equals 8. So if my small number is 8, the big one is going to be 3 times 8 minus 1. 3 times 8 is 24. Minus 1 is 23. Ta-da! This one and this one. Next one is 42. Again, the greater of two numbers, so that tells me there are two numbers. So we're just going to identify them. So you got the small number and the great number. Is it too early for Christmas songs? Greater number, smaller. What are we doing? 42. The greater of two numbers is one more than the smaller. So the smaller one, obviously, it's got to be x because there's nothing about it. So we're talking about the greater number in terms of the smaller number. So, and the greater number, the greater of two numbers is one more than twice the smaller. So that's my greater number. Identified. Now we can set up our equations. So 3 times the greater, 1 plus 2x. So 3 times the greater number exceeds 5 times the smaller by 10. It exceeds, so would exceeds be minus 5 times the smaller, exceeds, in this case, we get subtraction, exceed 5 times the smaller, 5 times the smaller, 5 times x by 10. And that's, I guess, a tricky word here, right? Exceeds. So we have the distributive properties, which is 3. 3 and 2x is 6x minus 5x, which equals 10. 6x minus 5x, sorry about the visual here. That's going to be x, right? So I'm going to get 3 plus x equals 10. Minus 3 on this side, minus 3 on this side, and our x equals 7. So the greater of two numbers is 7 more than twice the smaller. So the small number here is going to be 7. And the greater number, if we substitute here, is going to be 1 plus 2 times 7, which is going to be 14 plus 1. So the greater number is going to be 15, right, after we substitute. Which makes sense, right? So if the smaller number, so look at this sentence over here. If the smaller one is 7, the larger number is twice that, plus 1. Isn't 15 twice 7 plus 1? So we are good. 44 seems to be our next question. Yay, I have some room here. So the second of 3, oh, there's 3 numbers. So I'm going to write first number, second number, and third number. The second of 3 numbers, so the second is 1 less than the first. So the second 3 is 1 less than the first, so obviously, and the third number is 5 less than twice the second. If the third number exceeds the first by 12, find the 3 numbers. Oh my god. So the second of 3 numbers is 1 less than the first. So the first, I guess, we'll call it S, X. And the second is 1 less than the first, so 1 less than the first, and this will actually become x minus 1, right? Because less than, we turn around, we switch the terms, position of those terms. And the third number is 5 less than twice the second. So the third number is 5. Here's my 5. Less than means subtraction, and twice the second number. What's the second number? X minus 1. Now, because this is less than, this is also going to change, and this is going to become 2x minus 1 minus 5. So these are my three numbers. This, and that. I'm going to leave it like that for now. Actually, I'm not. I'm going to actually do this really properly and just simplify this a little bit. So this is going to become 2x minus 2 minus 5, and that becomes 2x minus 7. So my third number is going to be represented by the expression 2x minus 7. Now we can go and do our equation. So the third number exceeds the first by 12. If the third number, which is 2x minus 7, subtracted by the first number equals 12. That's what it says. The third number exceeds. The third number is bigger than the first by 12. So, wow, talk about easy equations. So I guess the difficult part would be setting up your first and second and third numbers. So 2x minus x, so I can combine like terms, combine this guy with this guy. And 2x minus x is just x. And then minus 7 equals 12. Throw the 7 to the other side, and we gotta get x equals 19. So my first number is 19. My second number is going to be 19 minus 1, which is 18. And then my third number is going to be, I can put it over here, so it's going to be 2 times 19 minus 7. 2 times 19 is, I don't know, 38 minus 7, and that gives me 31. So here are my three numbers, 31, 18, and 19. 46 on the other side, if I can find, yes, there is 46. Too loud now. Okay, so 46. If 3 times the number, okay, so if 3 times the number is increased by 5, right? 3 times the number is increased by 5. The result is the same thing as when 77 is decreased by 9 times the number. So basically, that's it. Find the number. All right. In this case, I'm going to get rid of the small number, and if you think about it, the small number is negative 9, right? So I am going to do plus 9x plus 9x. If I do it that way, my coefficient becomes positive. So I get 12x plus 5 equals 77. Minus 5 minus 5, I get 12x equals 72. Divided by 12, divided by 12, and x equals 6. Yeah. All right. That's not too simple. 48. If 10 times a certain number that I don't know, let's call it x, is increased by 4 or plus 4, the result equals 12 more than, here's my more than, 9 times that number. Okay, so I have a variable on each side again. I have a 10x and 9x. Let's get rid of the 9x. Minus 9x, minus 9x. So I'm going to get, these gotta go out, dios. So 12 comes down, and on this side, 10x minus 9x is just gonna be x plus 4. And then I'm going to minus 4 on both sides, x equals 8. Why do they look simpler than I thought they would be? Consecutive numbers. The ones at the bottom, we have 3 problems at the bottom. And again, you don't have to stop here, you can practice. If you do find something that you have a question, just email me on the class website, and I will make another video if you need on that question, or just respond back. Usually easier if I respond via an email. Very hard to type all that. Find 3 consecutive integers such that the sum of the first 2 integers 24 minus 24 more than the third integer. So there's 3 consecutive integers. So if the first one is x, the second one is going to be x plus 1. It's not even or odd, it's just consecutive, right? One after the other. Well, here are my consecutive numbers, and I'm doing number 14. Such that the sum of the first 2, so I'm going to add x plus x plus 1, the first two numbers, is equals 24 more than x plus 2, the third number. And again, I should have put parentheses, but I'm not, only because we're adding, so it really, they all come out as positive, so it's not a big deal. So just pretend I put parentheses here, and my next step would be to remove the parentheses, right? So there it is. On the left side, can I combine? I can combine x and x. I get 2x and then plus 1. On the right side, I can combine 24 and 2, and I get 26 plus x. Well, variable on each side, I can do minus x here and minus x here. These go away. 26 comes down. 2x minus x is x plus 1. Minus 1, and x igual a 27. Ta-da! So which means the first number is 27, the second is 28, and obviously the third one is 29. 16. Find two consecutive integers. Okay, so this one is x, the second one is x plus 1. Find two consecutive such that 4 times the larger, so the second one obviously the larger, so 4 times the larger, I'll put it in parentheses, exceeds 3 times the smaller by, so it's greater than exceeds, so exceeds is subtraction, exceeds the smaller by 23, so 3 times the smaller by 23. And that would be my equation. So 4 times, what am I doing, 16? Yeah. 4 times the larger one, which is x plus 1, so 4 times parentheses x plus 1, minus, exceeds, minus 3 times the smaller one, 3 times x, which is 3x equals 23. So, history property, right? I get 4x plus 4 minus 3x equals 23. This 4x and minus 3x becomes just x. Plus 4 equals 23. Minus 4, x equals 20. No, x equals 19. X equals 19. So 4 times the larger, so the first number is 19, the second number is 20. So let's see if that sentence actually makes any sense. So I'm doing 16, keep forgetting. So 4 times the larger. If I multiply the larger by 4, so 20 times 4, it's going to give me 80. So 4 times the larger minus 3 times the smaller, and the smaller number is 19. So 19 times 3 is what? 57. So 4 times the larger minus 3 times the smaller should give you 23. Is that true? Is 80 minus 57 23? It is. So we know those two numbers are correct. So 19 and 20 are the numbers we're looking for. All right. 18. Find 3 positive consecutive odd integers. Okay, so x plus 2, so and x plus 4. So these are my 3 odd integers. If they were even, it would be still x plus 2, x plus 4, such that the largest, so x plus 4 decreased minus 3 times the second, which is x plus 2, is, so I'll put this in parentheses for now. So, where is it? What am I doing? 18. The largest, which is x plus 4, decrease minus 3 times the second, which is x plus 2, good, is 47 less than the smallest, and the smallest is x. And then, don't forget that because it's less than, instead of 47 minus x, I actually should have written x minus 47. And that's your equation. Now it's just a matter of solving. So I'll remove the parentheses, x plus 4. This becomes minus 3x. And then this becomes minus 6 equals x minus 47. Let me combine this. Combine the like terms. So this one and this one becomes negative 2x. Plus 4 minus 6 becomes negative 2, and then equals x minus 47. Let's get rid of, I don't know, you can get rid of whoever you want. I'm going to get rid of the negative. I'm going to go plus 2x. I'm going to get rid of the negative. I'm going to plus 2x and plus 2x on this side. These two go away. Minus 2 comes down. X plus 2x is 3x. And then I have minus 47 over here. I'm going to do plus 47. Plus 47. And that's going to give me 3x equals 45. And our x is going to be, obviously, 15. That's our answer. So our first number is 15. Our second is 17. And our third is 19. Yep. Okay. So I have, there's something somewhere else I have to find this. And the other handout is this one, right? Let me find out what we have to do. And you guys picked 29. Well, let's do one by one. Let's do 29 first. This is what kind of problem? These are age problems? Okay. The age of two ships. So I'm going to call ship A and ship B. It's 12 years. Their ages. So if one ship is X, the other ship is going to be 12 minus X, right? 2 years ago, so this is now, and then this is minus 2. 2 years ago, ship A was obviously X minus 2. And 2 years ago, the other ship was 12 minus X minus 2. And that I'm going to rewrite. Again, let me just write this better. So 2 years ago, this ship was 12 minus X, right? And then minus 2. If I combine like terms, I'm actually going to say 10 minus X. So 2 years ago, those were their ages. Now that my table is done, I'm going to do number 29. I keep forgetting what number it is. So 29, let me put a little circle. So 2 years ago, the age of the older ship. Okay, so I actually don't know who the older ship, so you can make whichever one the older ship. So the age of the older ship. So let's make that the older ship. The age of the older ship, X minus 2, was 3 times the age of the newer ship. 3 times the age. I made this the older, I guess, and then this is the newer. I just chose. So the age of the older ship was, or equals, 3 times the age of the newer ship, and the newer ship is 10 minus X. Solve. X minus 2 equals 30 minus 3X. Variables on both sides. Let's get rid of the minus 3x here. So, because it's negative. So we do plus 3x, I'm going to get 4x minus 2 equals 30. We're going to do plus 2, and we're going to get 4x equals 32, and obviously you'll know that x equals 8. So, find the present age of each ship. So if one ship was 8, the other one's going to be 12 minus 8, which is going to be 4. So one ship is 4, and the other one is 8. 35. A wool tapestry. 30. Didn't we do this? Huh. Oh, I did. Okay, I see. I helped some of you guys remember the question from the class. 32? No, 30, 35. What am I doing? 35. So where's 35? Alright, there you are. So we have something that's a wool tapestry. I'm going to write wool. And the other one is linen. And I don't know how many columns I need, but it says that the wool trap is 32 years older than the linen one. So if the linen is X, right, the wool one is older, and we're going to call that 32 plus X. It's 32 years older, so I guess we can call that now. 20 years ago, so oof, minus 20 here. So let's, before we even set up here, so 20 years ago, the linen was X minus 20, right? And 20 years ago, this guy was 32 plus X minus 20, and 32 minus 20 is 12, so that simplifies to 12 plus X. 20 years ago, these were the two ages that I'm going. These are the two ages that I'm going to use for my whatever equation I'm setting. So it says 20 years ago, the wool tapestry, so 20 years ago, the wool tapestry, which is represented by 12 plus x, was equals twice as old, 2 times the linen tapestry, which is x minus 20. Solve, right? 12 plus x equals 2x minus 40. We got to get rid of one of the x's here, so let's get rid of this guy. Minus x here, minus x. These two go away. 12 comes down, and 2x minus x is x, minus 40. Plus 40 on both sides, and x equals 52. So if the linen, okay, what is the question? Find the present age of each. So the linen is 52 years old. And the other one is 32 plus 52, which is going to give us 84. And those are the two ages. It looks like 38. Okay. 38. The sum of the ages of two children is 16. So we got child A and child B. So it's the sum of their age 16. So if I call this guy x, the other one is going to be whatever, 16 minus x, right? Because if there's some 4 years ago, so that's now, and then we got the 4 years ago, which is minus 4. So 4 years ago, child A was x minus 4. And child B was 16 minus x minus 4 4 years ago. And then 16 minus 4 is 12. 12 minus x. Let's simplify. So set your table. Okay, set your information. And then from here, we're going to set up our equation. So 4 years ago, so therefore we're going to use x minus 4 and 12 minus x, those two expressions. So 4 years ago, the age of the older child, I don't know who the older child is, so I'm going to make this guy the older child, and this guy the newer child? No, the younger, sorry. 4 years ago, the age of the older child, so let's just make the older child the top guy, so x minus the age of this older child here was equals 3 times the age of the younger child, and the age of the younger child is 12 minus x. Okay, so find the present age of each child. X minus 4, 36, minus 3x. Get rid of one of the variables. I don't care who it is. You'll notice that it's always the same no matter who you get rid of. So let's get rid of this guy just for a change. So minus x, I have negative 4 equals 36 minus 4x. I'm going to do plus 36 here and plus 36 here. And that's going to give me negative 4. Whoops, not plus 36, minus 36. All right. I'm going to do minus 36, and then minus 36 here. And then we are going to get that these two go away, and then minus 4x on the right side. And negative 4 minus 36 is negative 40. We're going to divide both sides by negative 4, and that's why by negative 4. Therefore, negative 4 divided by negative 4 is positive, right? So we get x equals, and negative 40 divided by negative 4 is 10. So one child is 10, which means the other one is 16 minus 10, which gives us 6. Okay. That's it. Really, that's it. Okay. So again, if you have or you tried a question that you had some difficulty or a little assistance, just email, and I will make a video on it. Because if you have a question, most likely somebody else has the same question. Okay.